Hey friends, it's Alex and welcome to my November and December book haul. I didn't do one for November, so I thought I would just lump it together and do a November and December one. So over November and December I got 20 books and I will show you what they are now, starting with November. I'm going to do it that way. Also, these are in no particular order. I don't really keep track of when in the month I get each book. I just try and keep track of which month I get each book. But the first one in my hand is A Magic Steeped in Poison by Judy I. Lin. I basically just picked this one up because it's about tea and I really like tea and it sounded interesting, so I thought I'd pick it up. Also, for some reason when I picked it up I thought it was a standalone, and I now think it's actually the first book in a series, which is fine. I was happy that it was a standalone, but hopefully I'll like it and want to carry on with the series. I just like having fantasy standalones around every now and then as well, but you know, you can never have too much tea, so. So the synopsis for this one says, "For Ning, the only thing worse than losing her mother is knowing that it's her own fault. She was the one who unknowingly brewed the poison tea that killed her, the poison tea that now threatens to also take her sister, Shu. When Ning hears of a competition to find the kingdom's greatest Shenong Shi, masters of the ancient and magical art of tea making, she travels to the imperial city to compete. The winner will receive a favour from the princess, which may be Ning's only chance to save her sister's life. But between the backstabbing competitors, bloody court politics, and a mysterious and handsome boy with a shocking secret, Ning's life might actually be the one in more danger." Sorry if I mispronounced anything there. But that sounds interesting. I just really like tea, and so the idea that it surrounds tea is really interesting to me. I hope that it does have a lot of tea in it, just because that's what I'm here for. And also I really love this cover. I also got my pre-order of The Heart of the Sun Warrior by Su Lin Tan. This is the second and final book in I think the Celestial Kingdom duology. The first book is Daughter of the Moon Goddess, which has the most stunning cover ever. I have not read Daughter of the Moon Goddess yet, so I cannot tell you what that one or this one is about because spoilers, but I am really excited to pick this series up. It's now a complete series because it's only a duology and both books are out, and I tend to like to marathon my series, so the fact that this one is complete means hopefully I will get to it soon, but you know, I have a lot of books that I think the exact same thing about, so we'll see. But yeah, this is one I would like to get to soon. I also got another series conclusion. This one was the last book in a trilogy, and it is The Last Hero by Lyndon A. Lewis. I don't know what the series is called, but the first book is The First Sister. Oh, it's just called the First Sister Trilogy. Again, I have not read the first book, so I don't really know what the series is about, and I don't want to read the synopsis of this one because spoilers. I do know that I've heard that it has a non-binary character in it, which is cool, and it's sci-fi, I know that, which is part of the reason why I'm really excited to hopefully get to this one soon as well. My lovely friends Beth and Bea went to a Hollyborn event sometime last year, and they brought me back an arc of Girlfriends, Hollyborn's newest book. The book is out now, I also have a finished copy. But Hollyborn's one of my favourite authors, so they've passed on an arc to me, which is very lovely of them. And there is a synopsis. So Hollyborn tends to write a lot of contemporary. This is like her third adult one, I think. But I'll read what this one is about. From the day they first meet as teenagers, Fern and Jessica are best friends. Despite their differences, they are there for each other throughout everything, navigating the difficulties of growing up and fitting in. That is, until Jessica crosses a line that Fern can't forgive. But now, more than 10 years later, Jessica has unexpectedly reappeared in Fern's life. A lot has changed for them both, but can their relationship be different now they are older? Is it possible for either of them to rewrite the role that they have been cast in, or will their shared history ultimately be doomed to repeat itself? I actually have never read the synopsis of this book before, so I did not know that was what it was about, but like, it's Hollyborn. I've been wanting to read it. I'm going to read it. I'm sure I'm going to really enjoy it as well because I've loved all of her books. And again, hopefully I'll get to this one soon. I also picked up The Mistletoe Motive by Chloe Lees? I don't know. This one was like a book club pick for an asexual Discord group I'm in, and it features a demisexual main character, which I was really intrigued about, and it's also a Christmas romance set in a bookstore, and it's a novella. All of those things were like ticking boxes for me because I love books set in bookstores. I love Christmassy books around Christmas. Reading about a demisexual main character is exciting, and the fact that I'm not super into contemporary anymore, the fact that it's short made it much more appealing for me. I have read this one, I can't remember if I already said that. But yeah, it just follows these two characters on the front, Gabriella and Jonathan, and they both are like co-managers of this bookshop, and they hate each other, and it follows their romance. Enemies to lovers. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I picked it up. I also got Dragon Destiny by Katie and Kevin Sang. This is, I think, the 5th book in the Dragon Realms series. I've been collecting them all. I love dragons. They're they are my favourite like fantasy creature. They also have really nice sprayed edges. That's like the main reason I've been getting them. I'm just not really into middle grade anymore, and even these, they're not like favourites or anything. I mainly just want the sprayed edges, but I have been just collecting them and listening to them on audio, and they're fun, and they've got dragons. But like I said, this is the 5th book, but the first book follows, it's been a while, it's either 4 or 5 friends who are in our world at some camp, and then they find like a portal to the dragon realm and bond with dragons and have lots of dragon adventures. They're good books, I enjoy them. I'm just not much of a middle grade person, so they're never going to be like favourite books ever. But I am glad I've been reading them, and I like the sprayed edges. I picked up this next one from eBay because I think it's Illumicrate. It's a subscription box edition, but I can't remember which one, and it doesn't say on it. It normally says, I think it's, yes, it says it on the back. It's an Illumicrate edition, and I've been wanting to read this book, but I was going to wait for paperback because I want to try and get back into that. I used to do that a lot, was just wait for paperbacks and only buy paperbacks because it was cheaper, and I want to try and get back to that with books that are not like, that aren't special editions or something. So I was waiting for the paperback, and then I saw how beautiful the Illumicrate edition was, and so I went on eBay and found a copy and got that. But it is The Book Eaters by Sunyi Dean. Again, it says book in the title, and I love books about books, so I picked this one up. But this edition is so beautiful. I think the standard edition's more sort of browny on the cover, and then this one's got really nice sprayed edges. And then the thing that really got me was under the dust jacket. It's got really nice design, and I just really loved that, so I went on eBay and picked it up, and I'm really happy with it. It's also got really nice end papers. It's just beautiful. Near the drop of the dust jacket. Hidden across England and Scotland live 6 old book-eater families. The last of their lines, they exist on the fringes of society and subsist on a diet of stories and legends. Children are rare and their numbers have dwindled, so when Devon Fairweather's second child is born, a dreaded mind-eater, a perversion of her own kind, who consumes not stories but the minds and souls of humans, she flees before he can be turned into a weapon for the family, or worse. Living among humans and finding prey for her son, Devon seeks a cure for his hunger, but time is running out, for her family want her back, and with every soul her son consumes, he loses a little more of himself. Again, I actually didn't know the synopsis, I just knew it was like a book about books, or a book about stories, I guess. But yeah, it sounds interesting, it's short. I've heard kind of mixed things about it, so I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about it, but I am intrigued to pick it up and see what I think. I also got The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. I've just been collecting all her books in like the first editions. This dust jacket's damaged, don't know. Anyway, I've been collecting all her books in the first editions because they always come with these really gorgeous hidden covers. And so this is the most recent one to come out. This is the second book in her second series. I don't know what the series is called. The first book is Once Upon a Broken Heart, and it's like a spin-off to the Caraval series. I'm waiting for the third book. I will probably audiobook these because, to be quite honest, I don't know if they're really my thing. Okay, nearly at the end of November. So I got The River of Silver, which is a collection of short stories set in the David Bad world. I have read the David Bad trilogy, so I thought I would pick this one up and read it as well. I just am obsessed with these covers. They are so beautiful. When I read the David Bad trilogy, I mostly audiobooked them, so I'll probably do the same for this one. I think I've got it on Scribd, and it's short again, so hopefully I will get to this one soon, and that will kind of just round off that trilogy, or that series, for me. But yeah, this is just a whole load of short stories following characters from the David Bad world and set in the David Bad world. So the last two books on this list are some like adult epic fantasy that I picked up. So I've got The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. I've been seeing this series around a lot lately, and the covers are so beautiful. And I thought I would pick it up because I was just in a general book buying mood, so I picked it up. I haven't read it yet, but I am excited to give it a try. Like I said, these covers are stunning. I've been hearing loads about it, like everyone seems to love it, and I really want to try it out. So the synopsis of this one says, Emperor Mapediri was the first to unite the island kingdoms of Dara under a single banner. But now the Emperor is on his deathbed, his people are exhausted by his vast conscriptive engineering projects, and his councillors conspire only for their own gain. Even the gods themselves are restless. A wily, charismatic bandit and the vengeance-sworn son of a deposed duke cross paths as they each lead their own rebellion against the Emperor's brutal regime. Together they will journey to the heart of the Empire, witnessing the clash of armies, fleets of silk-draped airships, magical books, and shape-shifting gods. Their unlikely friendship will just drastically change the balance of power in Dara, but at what price? This is one I am keen to try out soon. I have a lot of epic fantasy series that I want to try, and I've got a couple on the go and all this, so I don't know when I'll get to it, but hopefully soon. And then the last book I picked up in November, which I think might actually have been the first book I picked up in November, but the last book I'm talking about that I picked up in November is The Blade Itself by Jo Abercrombie. I picked this one up because Becca from Becca and the Books, her book club, the Catch Up Book Club, is reading this series as its next like project, and it starts this month in January. But I've heard that Jo Abercrombie, and possibly this series as well, but I'm not sure, is like the father of the grimdark fantasy subgenre. I don't think I've ever read a grimdark fantasy book, so I don't know if I like it or not, so we'll find out with this. I'm hoping I like it. But again, I'll read you the synopsis. Logan Ninefingers, infamous barbarian, has finally run out of luck. Caught up in one feud too many, he's about to become a dead barbarian, leaving nothing behind but bad songs and dead friends. Jezzel Dan Luther, paragon of selfishness, has nothing more dangerous in mind than winning glory in the fencing circle. But war is brewing, and on the battlefields of the frozen north, they fight by altogether bloodier rules. Inquisitor Glockter, cripple-turned-torturer, would like little more than seeing Jezzel come home in a box, but then he hates everyone. Cutting treason out of the heart of the Union, one confession at a time, leaves little room for friendship, and his latest trail of corpses could lead straight to the rotten heart of government, if he can just stay alive long enough to follow it. So I've heard that like all the characters are really unlikable or something, so we'll see how this one goes. I think I've also heard that it's worth sticking it out for a few books, because this one doesn't have a lot of plot or something like that. Becca kind of talks more about it in her Catch Up Book Club announcement video, so I can link that down below. But yeah, I'm excited to read this series. Hopefully I will enjoy it. I don't think I've read any grimdark, so I don't know if I have anything to go off as whether I might or might not enjoy it, but I'm hoping I will with this one. So those are all the books I got in November, and now on to the ones in December. I'm going to start with one that I don't actually know if I got in December, but I know I got it recently, and then I just didn't write it down on my spreadsheet, so I don't actually know when I got it, so I'm just lumping it in December, because I'm sure it was either November or December, but I just can't remember. But I picked up Malice by John Gwynne. I have, what are they called? The Shadow of the Gods and the Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne, and I'm waiting for the last book to come out so I can marathon the series. But this is his series he wrote before that, which is complete as far as I'm aware. It's a 4-book series, and I've heard good things about the series. I've heard good things about John Gwynne, so I wanted to check it out. And again, it was a day I was just in a book buying mood, and so I picked up this one. And again, I will read you the synopsis. The Banished Lands have a violent past where armies of men and giants clashed in battle. An uneasy peace reigns, but now giants stir once more. The very stones weep blood, and there are sightings of gigantic worms. Those who can still read the signs see a prophecy realised. Sorrow will darken the world as angels and demons make it their battlefield. Young Corbin watches enviously as boys become warriors and yearns to join them, determined that he will make his family proud. It's only when everything he knows is threatened that he discovers the true cost of becoming a man. As the kings look to their borders and priests beg answers from the gods, only a chosen few know that the fate of the world will be decided between 2 champions, the Black Sun and the Bright Star, and with their coming will be a war to end all wars. So yeah, I'm keen to check this one out. Again, I don't know when it will be. Another fantasy book that I picked up that I think is also a complete series is The Tiger and the Wolf by Adrian Tchaikovsky. My boyfriend and I went to an Adrian Tchaikovsky signing at the beginning of December, so I picked this one up there and I got it signed, which was nice. It was a really good talk, and I picked this one up because it's fantasy and that's obviously my genre. We also picked up Children of Time, which is on Jez's shelves at his house, but we both want to read more of his books. Okay, so that just stopped recording and I don't know where, and I don't want to read the synopsis out again because I read the whole thing and it had stopped recording somewhere. So if it stopped recording while I was reading it, the book will be linked below. Check it out, Goodreads. It sounds good and I want to read it because it's Adrian Tchaikovsky. I also picked up some manga in December. These are all series I've read before but never finished, and I want to get back into manga because I did enjoy it and I want to finish these series as a start. The first one is quite an ambitious one to want to finish because it is One Piece. There are like over 100 volumes of this and it's still going, so I don't know, this one might be a very long ongoing project, but I want to try and collect these bind up ones, so it's got volumes 1, 2 and 3 in it. And this is like a pirate story and it's so much fun. I have read quite a lot of it in the past, but I don't know how much because it was before I started tracking my reading. But I just remember really enjoying it and I want to get back into it and collect them all up and read through them all. Next up I have volume 4 of Pluto. I'd never hear anyone talking about this, so I don't know if it's a very well-known manga, but I really enjoyed what I read of it. It's got 8 volumes altogether and I think I read 7, so I was nearly finished, but it was a very long time ago. So again, I've been trying to collect them up and then I want to finish Pluto. And I think it's by the same guy who wrote Astro Boy, which I know is more well-known, and it is again about robots, and I just have a good time with these and I want to finally finish the series. It's also like a mystery type thing. It's good, I enjoy it, I recommend it. And then I picked up another very popular one, Death Note, volume 1 of the Black Editions. Again, I've started Death Note, I really enjoyed it and I want to finish it, so I'm going to try and collect the Black Editions. I can't remember how many there are, there's a lot though of the Black Editions. It doesn't say in here. Anyway, this binds up the first 2 volumes and I want to find out where it goes and finish the series. Then I got 3 books for Christmas, all from my brother, and also all in a bit of a colour scheme, which I appreciated. I got How to Be a Normal Person by TJ Klune, which again I have read. I started this one on Christmas Day. This one follows Gustavo Tiberius, who is not normal. And then one day he meets someone moves into his small town that he lives in, and he decides he wants to try and be normal for this person. and it was so funny. I was laughing out loud at bits. Like, yeah, so me and my boyfriend were like having some reading sessions together, and I would just keep laughing out loud and he'd keep looking at me like, what are you doing? So yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and I want to pick up the sequel soon, but I don't know when. My brother also got me Peace and Turmoil, The Dark Shores Book 1 by Elliott Brooks. She has a YouTube channel. I think the YouTube channel is just called Elliott Brooks, but I'll link it down below. She talks a lot about fantasy books. I love her channel. And this is a book that she has written and published, and I've been wanting to check it out for a while because it's fantasy. 30 years of peace have graced the lands of Abram. The waning bloodshed from the war of fire has ended, and the new generations have only the horrid tales of their forefathers to remind them of their country's past. Poverty no longer prevails, the sights and palms of men have grown soft, yet 4 nations dictate more power than they know. Civil unrest stirs among the first, the heir to the throne of Macedonia, and the guardian to its dagger, questioned by a growing rebellion. To its south lies a country of scholars, the mighty nation of Zenith, liberators of the war of fire and guardians of the amulet. Over the dividing wall lives the newly freed Sadie, a kingdom with an assassin for a prince and an insurgent at its heels. The fourth is the ancient realm of Eve, the land across the sea, gifted and cursed with the sight, as it shows them what's to come. Only one knows the fate of the world, but all will be pawns in its reckoning. And yeah, I'm just intrigued. I want to check it out. I just love fantasy, so I'm always keen to check out fantasy. Also, this one's like really big, but still like really easy to open, and I love it. And then the last book my brother got me is The Box in the Woods by Maureen Johnson. This is the 4th book in the Truly Devious series. Although from what I understand, the series is like, the main trilogy is the first 3 books, and then this is like following the same character but a different mystery, whereas the first 3 books focused on the same mystery. So I'm definitely intrigued to check this one out. I have read the first 3 books very recently, so I will hopefully be going to this one soon. I've been audiobooking them. This one will probably be my next audiobook. And yeah, I've been enjoying the series, so I definitely am looking forward to carrying on with it. And thank you to my brother for these wonderful Christmas gifts. And then the last book I got in 2022, I forgot what year it just came out of, but I picked up The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I have finally owned this book. I've been meaning to get it for ages. Part of what's put me off is how long we've been waiting for book 3, and it still isn't out yet. But I do still want to check out this series. I've heard so many good things, so it was one I have been wanting to check out, so I thought, whatever, I'll just get it. And I will read you the synopsis. I have stolen princesses back from sleeping barrow kings. I have burned down the town of Trebon. I have spent the night with Felurian and left with both my sanity and my life. I was expelled from the university at a younger age than most people are allowed in. I tread paths by moonlight that others fear to speak of during day. I have talked to gods, loved women, and written songs that make minstrels weep. My name is Kavoth. You may have heard of me. And yeah, I've just heard very good things about this series. It is a very well loved series, aside from the fact that the 3rd book is still not out. But I still want to check out the series, and I'm going to remain hopeful that the 3rd book does come out one day. So those are all the books I got in November and December. Thank you so much for watching this video. If there are any books in this haul that you think I should prioritise, definitely let me know in the comments. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!